Hey everyone, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me today. Today is all about my end of the month money moves. We're going to count up all of the completed savings challenges that we finished in October and move that money into our sinking funds. Let's find out together what that grand total for October is going to be. Welcome back. Thank you so much for being here today. I cannot wait to find out what our grand total is going to be for October. If you are new here, my name is Laura. I'm a teacher, a mom, a budgeter. We use a zero-based budgeting system, sinking funds, and savings challenges to help us stay on track with our finances. I also primarily work with prop money in my budgeting systems. If these are things that interest you, take a moment, hit that subscribe button to join me along on this journey. Halloween is officially done, and we've got some savings challenges to count up for the month. I cannot wait to find out what our total is going to be here for October. I am so proud of myself in that I was much more consistent this month compared to September, and so I'm really looking forward to what that total is going to be. I'm just separating out these challenges here into the different categories that we have. So we have a pretty good amount of different things that we are able to complete. We've got our Freebie Fridays and our Mini Mondays. We've got a couple of tinies. We've got my Let's Play Ball Baseball Savings Challenge that was complete in October. We've got my monthlies. I've got a group play, and I also have a letterbox. Let's go ahead and shuffle things around here a little bit, and we can find out what our grand totals were for each of these areas that we were saving for. We're going to start with our Freebie Fridays and our Mini Mondays. So let's move all of these up here. We're going to grab my tracker here for the year. I've been using this tracker to keep track of how much we save in each of the different categories of savings challenges that I use. So we track our Mini Mondays, Tiny Tuesdays, Letterbox, Freebie Fridays, monthlies, group plays, any games, which I have not really gotten into many games this year, and then of course anything that fits under an other category. And then we add up the total for the month to see how much we saved in completed savings challenges. Let's go ahead and start with our Mini Mondays and find out how much we were able to save. We need our calculator here. I've got all of my challenges. Let's move Freebie Fridays out of the way here just for a moment as well. We're going to end up with a big stack of paper clips here. I just use these little cards here just to have something to clip to, so I know that all of these challenges were from my Mini Mondays here. All of this money has been stuffed already for my Mini Mondays and my Freebie Fridays. That money gets transferred into more revolving short-term sinking funds right away upon completion of the challenge. But I do save the challenge because I do like to see how much we were able to finish in the month. So we are starting off with a challenge here from Stephanie over at Savvy Girl Saves for $16. We've got this one here from Dawn's Sunrise Budgeting, also $16. We've got another challenge here from Hippies, Puppies, Kittens Budgets, and this one saved us $20 here. We've got a challenge from myself, also for $20. We've got a challenge here from Toria's Budgets that saved us $21. This one here from Vicky Thinks, that was another $20. We've got one here from Becca Can Budget, and this saved us again $20. That was the magic number here. And oh, here we go. Another one saved us $20 from the Millennial Saver. And that looks like our total for the month of October in completed challenges for Mini Mondays is $153. So let's go ahead and write that in on our tracker here. 153. That is a great number. Now keep in mind, these are not challenges that were all started in the month of October, but just challenges that were finished. So $153, this might be our greatest total yet for Mini Mondays. Scrolling down the different months here, I think it is. September was a pretty good month for us at $143, but we beat that by $10 and completed $153 worth of challenges for our Mini Mondays, and that is awesome. Let's go ahead and move these off to the side and grab our Freebie Fridays here. And again, I just have another card here that just gives me something to clip them to when I put them in my completed savings challenge bag. Starting off here, we have a challenge from Angela Marie 888 for $10. We've got a big one here, $40 from Toria's Budgets. And you can see here, this was an August challenge, so we likely started this in August, but it did not finish until October. We've got a challenge here from The Secret Budgeter for $12. We've got one here from Sarah Saves 07 for another another $12. Is that the magic number here? We've got a challenge here for $20 from myself. Hello, Fall. Another one from Angela Marie here, 888 for $12, another 12, and then another big one here, $28 from Buttercup Budgets. That gives us a total here of $134 for our Freebie Fridays. Let's go ahead and write that in under that column here, 134. Let's go ahead and compare here from the previous months and see how we did for Freebie Fridays. So 134 was finished here for October, and as I scroll through the months, I think that is our greatest total as well. It is. So we are starting off really well here. Mini Mondays and Freebie Fridays have my greatest total saved of challenges that were finished in the month of October. Now again, we had a couple of big ones for sure that weren't started in October, but they finished in October, and that definitely helps our totals here. Let's go ahead and move to our tinies. We did finish a couple of tinies in the month of October. Now our tinies are specifically dedicated to different areas in our high yield. These are all prop money here, and the prop money is representative of money that is in our savings challenge category in our high yield savings account. Through this process here, as we add up all of our totals, I'll be able to know how much to transfer from our savings challenge category into the other 8 categories that we focus on with our savings challenges, which is where my little tray here comes in handy. So I've got my little tray that has each of the other 8 categories besides that savings challenge category that we use in our high yield. And so when these challenges then tell me how much was saved, I can go ahead and know how much to transfer in after we add up everything. So we had 2 tinies here that we completed. We have one for home that was for $28, and then we had another one here for pets that was $34, and that gives us a grand total of $62 saved for our Tiny Tuesdays. Let's go ahead and write that in on our tracker here, $62, and just kind of scrolling through to do some comparison here, $62 is a really great number. We had a huge April for tinies, but other than that, it looks like this is second place for the year so far in completing challenges in tinies. Tinies definitely took a little bit of a break in May, June, and July, and then we brought them back, and now we're starting to see that impact of those small amounts continuing to add up to greater wins. So the way I use tiny challenges is in sets. So instead of working on just one small challenge at a time, I actually work on them as a group of challenges. So I had 2 tinies here that I combined together for $28, and this is going to go to our home category. So we have $28 that we'll put in our little slot here for home. And then we had a set of tinies here that we finished, again, working on them together as a whole. So getting those quick wins from finishing a tiny, but then letting it continue to grow until the entire set was completed. And this saved us $34 for pets. We've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 31, 32, 33, and 34. So $34 we're going to go ahead and put into our pets slot here that we'll be able to reallocate to those sinking funds in our pets category. Let's move our paper clips out of the way here. So far, so good here. Let's go ahead and move on to our Letterbox. We did finish a Letterbox challenge in the month of October. My Letterbox challenges are the only challenges that I do use real cash for. You can see that on my Tiny Tuesday videos. We finished one in the month of October, and it was for pets again. So $25 is all we finished for our Letterbox through the month of October. That's a pretty steady total here. Usually we finish either 1 or 2 Letterbox, and they're each $25 a piece. The only other number that was higher than a 50 was August, because we had finally finished my Star Notes tracker, which that is going to take some time here. So we have $25 that we get to add into our pets category here, and we'll see what Letterbox we're able to finish in the month of November. Let's go ahead now and move to our monthlies. So we have a good stack here of monthly challenges, and we'll wait for the group plays there and our baseball challenge. So our monthly challenges are all dedicated to different areas in our high yield savings account as well. You may notice as we go through that some challenges may not fully be completed and filled in. That's because I work on these just for the month, and the last cash stuffing that we have at the end of the month with my monthly theme, we just go ahead and close out the challenge. This way I can start with a new theme and new challenges at the start of the month, and I just love giving myself a little reset with these monthly challenges and starting something new. So my October theme was don't be a mummy, save that money. Let's see how much we were able to save for the month of October. We're starting off here with $11 that's going to go to education, and we're going to go ahead and put these in the slots right away here as well. This challenge here, so we added just another $1 here because we had completed this just at the end of October, and then the new challenge just got $1 new. $1. So instead of using that new challenge, I just went ahead and added it here. So we're going to add this $1 to this challenge. This challenge was from TeacherMomBudgets, and it's for $19, and that's going to go to our holidays category. We've got a challenge here from Happy to Save with Hannah that saved us $14, and this is going to home. And our next challenge is from Julie's Pages, and this saved us $11. That will be going to our vehicles sinking funds. This one here is from Becca Budget 777. It saved us $20 for travel. And our next one here from Budgeting Mom of Girls, just $2 here. This one came in late, and so it just got $2 after a challenge had finished previously, and this is going to education. Our next challenge is from Ellie on Earth. This saved us $11. That is going into pets. I feel like pets is getting a lot of money this month. And this challenge is one from myself that went along with my monthly theme. This one saved us $16 here and is going to family. And lastly here, we've got a challenge from Lifted Up and Living for $12 that is going to our emergency funds. So it looks like a grand total here is $116 saved for our monthly challenges. Let's go ahead and write that in. Let's go ahead and see comparatively how that is for the month. So 116 for October here. We had some bigger numbers throughout, especially in the summer months. We're able to put a little bit more into these savings challenges, but I'm pretty happy with $116. That's definitely being more consistent this month. I'm seeing it grow from September, where I was just not quite as consistent with my savings challenges. Let's move on now to group play. So I finished my group play, which was my seasonal group play. I intended to work on this through the months of September, October, and November. However, I did not have any other October group plays for the month. I think I just, in September being a little more crazy, I just did not keep up with finding some group plays for October. So we just worked on this one and completed it. So we completed it a month early, which is totally fine. Looks like I did not write the total on it here. So let's go ahead and see how much it was. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, and 38. So $38. Oh, wait, nope, now I see it. So $38, I did write it on here for group plays. And this is money that is going to end up being randomized. So I don't have a set category for my group play money that I finished for the month. We go ahead and randomize that at the end. So let's just put it off to the side here so we know to go ahead and randomize that. I'm excited that I do have some new November group plays here to be able to start in the new month. So we'll see how much we're able to save in November for group plays. But we did pretty well. Looks like we tied with our total in April. We had a huge group play number here in August. This was likely maybe when I finished my summer group play. So usually those numbers are a little bit bigger, but I'm happy with $38. So far, things are looking really good for the month of October. And lastly here, we have a huge challenge that we finished, which was my Let's Play Ball Baseball Savings Challenge. This challenge we started back in June. I intended to start it at the beginning of the baseball season. It didn't work out that way, so we started, I believe it was in June, and went ahead and tracked wins and losses with my favorite team through the course of the season, including some playoff games as we got into October. I cannot wait to start this again with the new baseball season in the spring. I know we haven't even hit winter yet, but I'm super excited to start that one over again. I believe we had about $170 here. Let's give this a count. We have 150, 60, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. So $170 on the dot here. I did not write that on here, and I do want to. So let's go ahead and write in $170 that we're able to finish for our baseball savings challenge. That is amazing. That is why I do have some baseballs left over, because I do have this set up to be weekly throughout the whole season. But we started late this year, and that's okay. I still saved $170. Now the question is, what are we going to do with this money here? Let's go ahead and write this under other. I'm just going to put baseball here and write in $170. I did not have any collabs. Usually I'm using that other category for collabs, which I did not. I guess I could have put it under games as well, but we'll just leave it there for $170 under other. So we're going to be pretty specific with this money here. We're going to go ahead and put $100 that's going to go towards Thanksgiving. I'm going to go ahead and put that in our holiday calendar, and let's hope I remember that that is specifically for Thanksgiving. And then that should leave us with $70 left, 50, 60, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, and 70. Yes, so we have $70 $70. And specifically, we're going to put this into our education category for some sports and activities money that I think we're probably going to be needing in the near future here. And so I want to put that specifically towards that area. I thought that's appropriate. We've got a sports challenge. We'll go ahead and move quite a bit of that money into our sports and activity category for our kiddos. So this was a lot of fun. This one is available in my Etsy shop if you are interested. I really enjoyed completing that through the month. Let's go ahead and see what our grand total is, and then we'll go ahead and randomize this money that we have from our group play as well. So our grand total for October, we had 153 for Mini Mondays, 62 for Tiny Tuesdays, 25 for Letterbucks, 134 for Freebie Fridays, 116 for monthlies, 38 for group plays, and 170 for our baseball challenge, which gives us a grand total of $698, just $2 shy of $700. And is that the biggest total we have had so far this year? It looks like it. We started off January with 621. That was a big number because of my football savings challenge, which I'm currently working on again as well. And so this is our greatest total that we have had so far for the year, and that is awesome. This just helps to kind of show me that my consistency is paying off. Yes, we definitely had a bigger challenge that finished through that month, which always helps this total, but that also needs consistency to be able to continue to work on that weekly. So this is really exciting. I was feeling pretty good about October, and yes, it's proven to me $698 in completed savings challenges through the month of October. Again, a lot of these probably not started in October. Really, the monthlies are the only ones that are truly started in October and finished in October. Everything else probably likely started in earlier months, but we completed $698 in challenges, which is amazing. We have some money that we need to randomize into our other categories here as well. Let's go ahead and bring in our dice tower, and we'll need our tracker here shortly too. Let's move the calculator off to the side here for a moment as well. And we've got some money to randomize. Can I see my little labels here? Let's make sure that I can keep an eye on these. So we have 8 categories that we focus on in our high yield with our savings challenges. I've got an 8-sided die. We've got, how much money did we have here? 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, and 38. Okay, $38 here. Let me exchange this 10 for a couple of 5s. I do have my bank of money off to the side here. So $38. Let's kind of move some of these 1s into the middle of these 5s as well, just to kind of mix this up here a little bit. And then we'll roll our die, our 8-sided die here, and we'll see where this money is going to end up. So we'll just number these off, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and roll our die. And each one of the areas will go ahead and get a bill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is home. So home gets the first $1 there, and that is a number 1, and that's going to go to family, gets a 5. Ooh, number 1 again gets another 5. And number 5 again is home, which is going to get $1. 6 is vehicles. Vehicles is getting $1 there. Number 8, emergency funds, gets $1. We've got a 6 here, which is going to vehicles. And then we have a 4. 4 is on the board. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is holidays. It is on the board. 6 again is vehicles, which gets another $1. I think we need a 7, huh? 5 is going to number 1 for family. 3, education, gets a 5. That's super exciting. I think 7 is the only number that hasn't been rolled. We got a number 6 here. And then we have a number 1 again for family. Okay, if this is not a 7, I think we're going to give this 5 to 7, because I think that's the only category that hasn't gotten anything. Oh, I take that back. Pets hasn't gotten anything either. You know what? We'll just let the dice decide here. We'll truly randomize it. Oh, and there we go. We got a number 2, which is pets. So just travel didn't get any extra love with the randomizing there. Now, our next step is to go ahead and find out what our totals are for each of these categories. And I use this little cheat sheet here. This is what helps me to know, because all of this prop money is money that's representative in our savings challenge category. So once we add up the totals in each of these other 8 categories, it will then tell me what I need to transfer, from our savings challenge category into our family category, into pets, education, so on and so forth. And then we'll go ahead and make decisions about what sinking funds within those categories we want to dedicate this money to as well. Starting off here with family. So let's go ahead and shuffle this in order here, and then let's find out how much we are moving from our savings savings challenge category into our family category. We have 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 31, and 32. So that is a great number. It's always nice to see which category is the grand winner at the end as well. So $32 on the board here for a family. I feel like pets is going to be kind of a big winner here. It had a tiny that finished as well. And then let's go ahead and put this in order and see. And the letterbox went here too. So pets is probably going to be a big number. We've got 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, and 75. Wow, $75 for pets. That is a huge number here. Excited to see if anything is going to beat that. I don't know. Holidays might. It does have that 100 in there that is going to go to Thanksgiving. Okay, so this is separated here because this money is going to go specific to a category. So let's see what we have. So this here, we'll use our calculator to help us. We've got 50, 60, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, and 70. So 70, that's specifically going to go to our sports and activity fund, which is why we're keeping it clipped. But then we also have additionally 10, 15, 16, 17, and 18. $18 to go to other areas in our education sinking funds, and that gives us $88 total, which, sorry pets, education now takes the lead. Moving on to holidays, we've got that $100 that's specifically going to go to Thanksgiving. Let's go ahead and put this in order and find out how much we have for holidays. Already it's going to take the lead. We've got 100, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. $120 for holidays. That is awesome. It has taken the lead. Next up here is home. Home, I feel like, had quite a bit of money here. I don't think it's going to take the lead, perhaps, but I think it's going to be a pretty good number here. Home has 20, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, and 44. $44, not bad for home. That's great. So 44 here, that moves us on to vehicles. Vehicles is likely going to be a little bit of a loser here today, but still wins because it's getting money. We've got 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. $19 here for vehicles. And then we move on to travel. Travel also did not get quite so much here this month. We've got 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Oh, it's not going to be the big loser though. It did just beat vehicles there. So $20 for travel. And lastly here, emergency funds. Oh boy, 10, 13, 10, 11, 12, and 13. My brain was already jumping to the 13. $13 here for our emergency funds, and that in fact is our big loser today, but it still wins because it's still getting a little bit of money. Now I'm going to go ahead and add this up here as well because this will help me to make sure that I am in fact on track. So 32 plus 75, 88, and 120, 44, 19, 20, and 13 gives me a grand total here of $411. And the way that I can check and make sure that we are on track here is if I pull back my tracker here of my savings challenges. My mini Mondays and my Freebie Fridays are not part of this money because those are part of other banks, but everything else is. So if I add up my Tiny Tuesdays and my Letterbucks, as well as my monthlies, my group plays, and my baseball savings challenge, I should get $411. And look at that, I do. So we are right on track here. Everything is balancing out, which is great news. So now this tracker then will help me to know what I'm going to move from my savings challenge category into these other 8 categories that we have. Our next move here is to go ahead and bring out our binders, which has our different sinking funds in each of these areas, and make some decisions about where we want to put that money. So let's make some room here. I think we're fully done with our calculator here, so we'll get that out of the way. We don't need our tracker right now either, and we'll start grabbing our binders here, and we will move this money. So we're going to start here in this binder. This binder has, yes, taxes, but we do not use savings challenges to help us save for those needs that we have with taxes. So that's going to take us straight to our family category. And the way my system works here is my binder always has these dashboards of the different category. When I go into my high yield, I will see a total that we have for this category, but then I love to see the breakdown for the different sinking funds that we have within that category. This just allows me to know that though I have a grand total, I know know that individually in each of these envelopes, these are the things that are dedicated for the things that we're focusing on. So we have how much? 32, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 31, and 32. We're probably going to go ahead and put this $32 towards our daughter's savings challenges. So we always work on a Save the Age weekly. So this is an example of that. These are available in my Etsy shop if you are interested. However, because these are set up to be weekly challenges, but we are paid twice a month and have 24 pay periods for the year, it doesn't always work out perfectly, and we always end up with some extra numbers that aren't filled in. Plus, we weren't super consistent in some of the early years. It was just harder to try to keep up with this. So we like to try to just kind of go back and fill in some of the ages that maybe we weren't able to, and we've got those trackers in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this in the front here. This is a savings that we do tend to keep a little bit more private. We do fill in each week when we do our cash stuffings, but any extra money and the total that we have in these envelopes, we do tend to keep a little bit more private. And so we'll go ahead and I'll add this into some of those numbers that we might need to catch up on, but that'll take a little bit more math to kind of figure that out between these two envelopes. So we'll just go ahead and leave that in the front there. And then let's move on to our next category, which is pets. Pets is going to get $75, a huge number here. We've got our vet visits envelope, we've got our dog care vacation visits, and I think we're probably going to put everything in here. We don't have anything on the horizon in terms of any trips where we would need some extra care and need some extra money for our pups, but I have a feeling in the winter months and after the new year, we might end up having some needs. So we're going to go ahead and add all that 75 here, which gives us a grand total now of 20, 40, 60, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. $116. Definitely can do some condensing here, but we'll go ahead and do that later, and that's awesome for this envelope. And moving on here to education. Education has a couple of different sinking funds. This is a non-negotiable that we fill every pay period, our school registration fees. I definitely want to focus on extracurriculars here. We do have some other envelopes like for summer school and camps and school supplies and all the things, but definitely want to put that big chunk of money that we had from our Save the Score baseball savings challenge into this one. So 50, 60, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, and 70 will go in here. What do we have left though? We've got 10, 15, 16, 17, and 18. You know, and I think we're going to go ahead and add it all into this category here because I do know that we're probably going to have some things coming up with new seasons, and definitely will need some of this money to use. So we'll add that here. Let's see what we have as a grand total. We've got 50, 60, 70, 80, 85, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. We're just $1 short of that 100, but that is great. I think that's a good move here because I know we're definitely going to need some money here. And that's going to wrap up this binder. Let's go ahead and bring in our next binder, which will have our holidays and our home sinking funds within them. So here we go. Holidays. Holidays has $120 here. This 100 for sure is going to Thanksgiving. So we'll go ahead and go to our Thanksgiving envelope. You know what? Maybe we'll just go ahead and put all of this into Thanksgiving here too. 110, 115, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. We host Thanksgiving, so it definitely does become something that we need to save some money for and budget for the month of November. So this will be a nice help for us. We also have my Save 2025 and 2025 savings challenge that we're currently working on that we tend to use for the holidays as well, primarily Christmas, but also Thanksgiving if needed too. Let's go ahead and shift over to our home category here. $44 is going to go into our home category, and we've got some new categories that have popped up in our home category here, and so we're definitely probably going to put all of this money towards that. HOA fees is a non-negotiable. We fill that every pay period. I think we're going to bounce back here to furnace and sump. So my husband and I sat down recently and kind of thought about what things are coming up in the near future or within the year that we're probably going to need to replace, or things that we're just keeping an eye on because the lifespan of these things is probably getting near towards the end, and so replacements are probably in the future. And the two things that we were talking about were our furnace and our sump pump. So I'm kind of reusing these envelopes that I originally had dedicated for technology and furniture. We are not needing to save anything for those yet, so I haven't made a new category heading here, so we're just using a little index card that I wrote on for furnace and sump. So these are two things that likely in the spring, next spring when we start getting rainfall again, that our sump is definitely going to be on watch and likely needing to be replaced soon. We were noticing some things that were kind of popping up with it at the end of this recent season of rains. Hopefully we won't have too many huge rainfalls in the near future here, and our sump will last till the spring. And then another topic we were talking about was our furnace. Our furnace is kind of getting to that point of its, final years before it'll need to be replaced. And so these are two things that within the next year, hopefully longer for our furnace, but we definitely want to start saving some money just for in the need that these things are going to be replaced sooner than later. So we have $44 here, 20, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, and 44. We're going to go ahead and throw all of that into sump to go ahead and give this a jump start. These two categories are going to be part of our non-negotiables now when we do our cash stuffings and getting just a little bit of money each pay period to help build it up over the next year plus until these things are needed, but definitely on the forefront of our mind of likely needing to be replaced. So that is definitely one of the ways that we love using these sinking funds, and just some of the conversations we have, like what is coming up in the next year, the next 2 years, maybe the next 5 years that we can start saving little amounts for now. And then that way we won't have to dip into any type of emergency fund when those things go out. What can we plan for knowing that these things are going to be needed in the future so that it doesn't take a hit to an emergency fund? This binder is now complete, which then takes us now to our vehicles, travel, and emergency fund binder. So we start off here with vehicles. Registration renewals is definitely a non-negotiable, so that is already stuffed. We've got our lease renewal category, car repairs, and how much do we have here again? We've got 19, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. Let's go ahead and throw this into car repairs. We have been building this over time here with savings funds. Hopefully we will not need to use it anytime soon, but you never know when something's going to pop up. We've got 120, 40, 60, 80, 90, 95, 200. We broke the 200 mark. 201, 2, 3, and 4. So $204. We broke the 200 mark, which is awesome. And this again is only being funded by savings challenges. We do have categories like our registration renewals where every pay period we do put money away because we know what that total is. We know when that date is coming, so it helps us to plan for it and have that money available. We actually just paid one of our renewals recently, but things like car repairs, yes, it would be great if we had it in our budget to go ahead and save an amount every time. But for us, it's more motivating to use these savings challenges to help fund these things that we are just adding little amounts to and just continuing to watch it grow. The savings challenges just help to make these other categories definitely more fun. Let's move on to travel. So we've got a little money here that we're going to add to travel. $20 here, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. We're going to add this all to family travel. We do not have anything on the horizon anytime soon here, but this is again something that we use savings challenges for. So instead of making it a non-negotiable, which we could, we kind of use our savings challenges to help build this up over time. It's a lower priority right now. When we have something on the horizon, we might make it a non-negotiable where we're adding amounts each pay period. But in the meantime, when there isn't, other things just have greater priority. So now our family travel envelope has 120, 30, 35, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, and 48. $148. Again, all from savings challenges, adding those little amounts each and every month. That is awesome. And lastly here, our emergency category. So our emergency category, we do separate out different emergency funds that we have: pet emergency, home emergency, car emergency, and then we are working very slowly on adding another $1,000 to our main emergency fund. We just have $13. It was definitely the big loser here with our emergency funds, but though we do separate out these categories, it is nice to know. So all of this money is in that emergency category. We see that grand total, right? We do like to have it separated into these different areas, but if push came to shove and we had a home emergency and we didn't have enough in this envelope, all of this money here is dedicated to an emergency and could be used if needed. So this $13, you know what, I think I'm going to put it into our pet emergency fund. This is something that we are really trying to prioritize a little bit here because we do have an older pup, and though she is doing just fine and is spunky as ever, it's just one of those things that's on the forefront of our mind that, you know, there might be a time when something might come up unexpected, and so we're trying to add a little bit of money into this each month to kind of help continue to make this grow. So we added the $13 here. I do have this tracker. It is available in my Etsy shop if you are interested for our emergency pet fund. It's got these little hearts on there, and then I have gone ahead and added the increments. So this tracker is $10 for each of the hearts, which will be $380 in the end. I also added in the little increment amounts so I know how much to fill in. So we added 13. So we're definitely going to be able to fill in one heart here likely. We've got 1, 50, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, and 67. Yes. So we can go ahead and fill in our little heart here for 160. I'll do that real quickly here. But again, just one of these things that, you know, we're trying to add a little bit of money here and there, especially with our savings challenges, to help build this up. Hopefully we don't need to use it anytime soon or ever, right? But just something that we are more conscious of and trying to prepare, just knowing the age of our pups. So 167 now I think our total was, which is awesome. And again, a lot of this money is just coming from savings challenges each month here. We do have our vet visits envelope in our pets category. That's a non-negotiable. It gets money every pay period, and it's based upon the cost that we have every year for their annual visits. So this is just funding those things that would be unexpected if they were to happen. Let's go ahead and put this back here, and that is going to wrap up our end of the month money moves for October. October was a great month. I am so excited for the progress in October. One of my goals in October was to be more consistent. September was definitely a wild ride with school starting again, and I sort of lost some of that consistency, and so I really challenged myself in October to be more consistent, and it definitely paid off, and we finished some bigger challenges through the month as well. As we are getting near the end of the year, it is crazy to think we just have 2 more months of 2025, and then I'm excited to see what the grand total will be of what we were able to save with the savings challenges, completed savings challenges through the entire year of 2025. November too, my goal is just to be consistent, to kind of continue this trend that I was able to get back on in October, continue to be consistent in November. We'll definitely have some spending in November as the Christmas spending will begin, as well as Thanksgiving, but definitely still dedicating money to our savings challenges to continue to help these things grow. I thank you all for being here today. I hope that you had a successful October as well. Even those little amounts, little $5, $10, it definitely adds up over time. I now have some work to do. I need to go into my high yield and make sure I make these transfers from my savings challenge category into these other categories, as we have stuffed that money already into those sinking funds. But if you enjoyed this video and you are not yet subscribed, I'd greatly appreciate it if you would go ahead and hit that subscribe button and support me here. My end of the month money moves are always a lot of fun and a little bit of a lengthier video. So if you are still here, I really appreciate you and I appreciate your support. Don't forget always to hit that thumbs up like button and leave me a comment down below. I hope you all have a wonderful day. November is here. The holidays are officially going to be kicking off here in this month. It's a busy time, but let's not forget to save a little money here too. Take care, be well, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.